You know how we go through school, primary school, secondary school, high school. You go through college, you get your bachelor's degree, you get your master's degree, you get your PhD, you get, all levels of schooling. But really, we are only taught a little about reproductive health. So that was me. I only knew a tiny portion of what I should have known as a girl and as a woman about reproductive health. So fast forward, went through college, started my grad school, and then I got married. And as a Christian girl, I always wanted to save myself for marriage, for the person that I would marry, and that's what I did. And in doing that, I never felt the need to learn more about the reproductive health and birth control. So I got married, and when we got married, we didn't want to use birth control because we wanted to have our first child right away, which happened, and we are so thankful to the Lord. So I didn't have a need to learn about birth control. But then came the baby. And after the baby, that's when it hit me. I was like, oh, I don't want to get pregnant in 2 months or 1 month or, however many more months my period would return after. I started wondering what's going to happen. I was a little bit concerned this time. And actually, throughout the visits also to the doctor, the visits you go to see your OBGYN, the doctor also started to ask me, what are the methods am I going to be using after delivery? And I said, I don't know. I don't have any. And the doctor said, after you give birth, after 6 weeks, when you come back to the clinic, you can come and we will discuss the different methods that are available and see which one will be good for you. So I started doing some search. I read about the different type of family planning that are out there. So I informed myself about all of them, and I was like, nope. Most of the ones that were out there has to do with hormones. And I've always known that hormonal birth control really messes up people. And I didn't want my hormones to be disturbed or just messed up with. So I looked at all the other options that were out there, and I said, I think this IUD thing sounds better. And then when I went back to my doctor, I was like, I think the IUD sounds better since they have an option of the non-hormonal IUD, which is called copper IUD. And then the doctor said, okay, so if you're ready, if you want this one, next, she gave me, I think, 1 or 2 weeks. So I came back to the office, and then they gave me the IUD. Before that, I had read a little bit more about the IUD, and I saw that the kind of pain you get is kind of like the period cramps you get when you are on your period. And I didn't know really what to expect because my periods are never painful, but I was determined that that's what I wanted to do. So I went to the doctor, they inserted the IUD, and I dropped myself there. And immediately, they did not even give me like some pain meds or anything. And immediately I started having cramping in my lower abdomen. And I said, okay, this is what they said. This is what the doctor said, and this is what I read about. So I think it is what it is. Maybe it's going to go away, like they said. So I went home. I was applying some warm patches and cold patches, both of them. I did both. And then I bought some pain meds. I was trying everything. The pain did not go away the first day, the second day, and the third day I thought I was dying. I was crying. I was in so much pain. I remember I went to the bathroom. It was in the afternoon. I was taking a shower and I broke down. I was crying in the bathroom. My husband had to come and knock and check on me. And he was like, "What's happening?" And I said, "I can't take this anymore. It's just too painful. It's too painful." And that's when we decided. That was actually on a Saturday. It was not Saturday, it was a Sunday. And the OB/GYN clinic was closed. So we had to go to ER. We went to ER and I was in tears. They checked me and they said, when I saw the doctor at the ER, the doctor said, let's take some samples and check if it's not an infection. So they took some samples and then they gave me some pain meds, and also they gave me some general antibiotics. So I had the antibiotic so that was on Sunday, Monday, and on Tuesday I started having some really, really bad rash on my arm and on my thighs as well. It was really bad. It was so itchy, so painful. So I called the doctor's office and I told them about it. So they suggested to take the antibiotics for 2 more days, and if it persisted, to stop it, and also go to my OB/GYN to get it checked out. So the following day, they brought the results back, and the results were saying that I did not have any infection. So I was mad that I had to take the antibiotics, and it gave me a rash, and it was for no reason. I decided to go see the OB/GYN, and they did an ultrasound. So when they did an ultrasound, they found that the IUD that they had inserted, so the IUD is usually in a T shape. It's like this in your uterus. So what they found out was that it was kind of leaning against the wall of my uterus. So this side of it, it was rubbing against the inner lining of my uterus. Yeah, so when they found out that it was misplaced, it was in the wrong place, they said, do you want us to go ahead and remove it now here, or do you want us to go to the hospital? And thankfully the hospital was just right across. So I said, they had told me, if we do it here in the office, you're not going to have anesthesia while we remove it, but we can go to the hospital and you'll be under anesthesia while we take it out. So I said, of course, let's go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital. I remember I was laying down there under this big light, and the doctor and his assistants were standing beside me. And I remember looking at that big light thinking, what if I don't wake up from this? Like, I started having a really big anxiety. And before I knew it, I was already asleep. I woke up in the recovery room. The doctor had already notified my husband that the removal was successful, and so by the time I got there, he was already there to pick me up. So when I left, I was like, now what's next? And I started thinking about my life. I started thinking about what I wanted. And that's when I started to Google. I put in Google, I literally remember Googling natural birth control methods. And then something popped up. I clicked on it, and then I ended up watching this video that mentioned about clear blue, how to use clear blue monitor to track your hormones, to measure and track your hormones as a way of monitoring your fertility. And mind you, by this time my period had not even returned, so I was very, very scared, because I know that people can usually get pregnant before they even see their next period, their first period for postpartum. So I was so scared. I said, sign me up. I'm really going to go into this thing to learn how my hormones work. I need to understand how my hormones work. I need to know all the signs I should be looking for. I know it was really scary, but I decided to do that. So in clinical settings, they also call these methods fertility awareness methods. So when I went back to the doctor so that they can check my progress with the recovery, they asked me which method I wanted to use, and I said I'm going to go with natural methods. And they said, you want the fertility awareness method? And I said yes. And the doctor gave me, she didn't say this directly, but she kind of said, see you in 9 months. And I know that's what most doctors do to patients when they express they are not interested in these conventional birth control methods. So guys, I'm sharing this story to help you know and understand that there are other options, natural, scientific proven methods that you can use to delay or avoid pregnancy, ways that do not harm your hormones, and ways that help you to learn your own body. It's really important that we take charge of our own fertility journeys. Whether you want to delay pregnancy, whether you want to stop or avoid completely pregnancy, it's totally possible. We have to trust our bodies. We have to trust the Lord who have created our bodies and the ingenuity He has created our bodies with. It's really just fascinating. I'll be sharing more about the method that I use. So as you know, I have 2 babies, one 3 years old and another one 1 year old. She recently just turned 1 year old, so they have a gap of 2 years. So I'll be sharing with you guys what I did, what I used to space them out. So I'll be sharing more details in the next video because I can't say all the things here in this short video. So that's going to be upcoming video. That's what I had to tell you today. You're not alone. I see you, I feel you. Some of you are not using IUD. Some of you are stuck on using the pills because that's the only option you are given, or that's the only option that you know. Some of you have the implants in your arms. Some of you have IUDs that you really don't like, that is uncomfortable to you. Maybe it's not messing up your hormones, but it's not comfortable to you. So just know that there are other options out there. So stay tuned. I'm so excited about sharing that with you guys in the next video. But until then, choose health and be blessed.